Hello students and welcome to our flipped classroom. This flipped classroom's topic is gerunds and infinitives. All right, to get us warmed up, please take a look at the following sentences and finish them in a way that makes sense to you. You can pause the video and you can write the sentences in your notebook. In a moment, I'm going to give you some example answers. Okay. All right, so here are some example answers, but there are many ways we could finish the sentences. I'd like to focus on these answers though. Number one, I enjoy watching movies, or I enjoy playing badminton. Number two, I like to play the guitar, or I like playing the guitar. Both of these sentences, to play or playing, both have the same meaning, right? There's really no difference. The next one is I want. I want to take a vacation. I want to buy a coffee. I want to see a movie. Number four is different. It's at the beginning, right? So we want to say watching movies is fun, or playing golf is fun, right? Or reading books is fun. Number five is very similar. We could say learning English takes a lot of practice, or becoming a professional soccer player takes a lot of practice. Okay? So I've given you these examples because they're all examples of gerunds and infinitives. Now, if you know something about gerunds and infinitives already, pause the video and ask yourself to identify which is a gerund and which is an infinitive. If you don't know, let me explain. A gerund has the form of verb with ing. A gerund is also always a noun. So that means that a gerund can be the subject of a sentence or it can be the object of a sentence, but it cannot be the verb of a sentence. And I'll explain that a little bit more in the next slide. An infinitive we can identify because it begins with to and then it's followed by verb base. So an example of the infinitive in our sentences is like number two. To play the guitar. To play is the infinitive. Or number three, to take. To take is the infinitive, right? Some examples of gerunds are like number 1, 2, 4, and 5, right? Watching movies, playing the guitar, watching movies, and learning English, right? Let's talk a little bit more about gerunds. So we said that gerunds are verb ing, and they have to be the noun in a sentence. So if we look at example number 1, I enjoy watching movies. I is the subject, enjoy is the verb, so watching movies is the object of the sentence, right? Here, watching is not the verb, but it's part of the activity, the noun, right? Watching movies. Now, this is kind of difficult to understand that watching is not a verb, but a noun here. Let's try to finish this this sentence in another way. We could say, I enjoy movies. Movies is definitely a noun, right? Or we could say, I enjoy baseball. Baseball is also a noun, right? So we can see that movies and baseball are two nouns, and they're acting as the object in the sentence. Watching movies, the gerund, is also the object of this sentence, okay? In number 2, the gerund is not the object. It is the subject of the sentence. Playing baseball is fun. Right? So here we're talking about the activity. The activity of playing baseball is fun for me. We could also just say baseball is fun. Baseball is clearly a noun. Or that game is fun. Okay? So if you can substitute a noun instead of the gerund, then you know you're using it in the right way. Okay? I've got some example sentences here for you. Letter A and letter B, you're looking for an activity using a gerund as the subject of the sentence. Letter C, you should use a gerund as the object of the sentence. So again, pause your video because in a moment, I'm going to give you the answers. Okay, so some example answers, though yours might be different, are skydiving is scary. Eating something new is scary, right? Moving to another country is scary. Another example for B could be interviewing for a job can be difficult, right? Learning a new language can be difficult. Meeting new people can be difficult. And letter C, we could say, I should avoid smoking, or I should avoid eating red meat because these things are bad for your health, right? So again, A and B, we see the gerund as the subject. Letter C, we see the gerund as the object. All three of the words in green are nouns in the sentence. Here are some other verbs followed by a gerund. So if we see these verbs in green, don't mind, quit, consider, suggest, postpone, and many others that we'll see in your book, if we see these words in green, we know that the word coming after these words could be a gerund, okay? It could also be a noun, though. So let's do some examples. We could say, I don't mind doing the dishes. It's not a big deal for me. It's not a big task. I don't mind doing the dishes, okay? What is something you don't mind doing? So again, pause your video and try to answer the other questions or the other sentences in your notebook. Be sure to use a gerund because all of these are followed by gerunds. Okay, we could say, my father quit eating red meat. Have you considered moving to another city? My teacher suggested taking ESL 150 next semester, and I often postpone doing my homework. But of course, I know that you guys never would postpone doing your homework, okay? So again, verbs in green followed by doing, eating, moving, taking, doing. All of these are gerunds. I have a little bit of homework for you, okay? Please do this homework, right? But don't stop watching. I have just a couple more slides, okay? So the other piece of this is infinitives, right? Some verbs are followed by the gerund. Other verbs are followed by the infinitive. Remember that infinitive means to plus verb base of that verb, okay? So, for example, we could say, I hope to see you again. I hope to pass this class. I hope to get a good grade, okay? Hope is always followed by the infinitive, to and verb base. Once again, try these others on your own, and I'm going to give you some example answers in just a moment. Okay, we could say, my father offered to teach me how to drive a stick shift car. To teach is the infinitive here. We could say, would you like to see a movie with me? If we want to invite someone to do something with us and we want to be super polite, we often use the modal, would you like, and then we use infinitive. Would you like to see a movie with me? Would you like to have dinner with me? Would you like to go swimming? Okay. Next one is, my classmate pretended, also followed by the infinitive. My classmate pretended to do his homework, but really he was texting his friend on his cell phone. And the last one, I have decided to take writing workshop next semester. A good idea for all students. Okay? Again, when we see the verb decide, let's use the infinitive after it. To take. Whoops, sorry about that. So our last exercise is correct or incorrect. I've got some sentences here for you, and I'd like you to pause the video and decide if the sentences use the infinitive or the gerund correctly or incorrectly. You might want to look in the book at 14-1, 14-2, 14-3 if you need some help. Okay? All right, so here are the answers, guys. Let's see how we did. Number 1, my classmate has decided transferring to Cal State University East Bay next year. This one is incorrect. Has decided. Decide is a verb that is always followed by infinitive. So the correct would be my classmate has decided to transfer. Number 2, I've considered to major in English, but I haven't made a decision. Also incorrect. Consider is a verb followed by gerund. So we should say, I have considered majoring. Number 3, I wouldn't like to see that movie. This one's correct. Good job. And number 4, she likes to playing tennis. Close but no cigar. This one is she likes to play or she likes playing. Okay, so we have 2 options. Again, like is kind of a strange verb because it can be followed by infinitive or gerund. It can be followed by either one, and it has the same meaning. Last one, would you mind? Incorrect. Would you mind closing that window? So mind is always followed by gerund. All right, guys, so here's your second piece of homework. Please don't forget homework number 1, also homework number 2, okay? We're going to practice a little bit more with infinitives and gerunds in class. All right, thank you for watching and see you next time.